What's up, everybody? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come in, please. Thursday evening, Thursday evening chats. How's everybody doing? Let's talk cloud computing. Let's talk career. Let's talk career in tech. Let's talk anything you want to talk about in tech. It's raining really, really hard here in New York City. I had plans, but I had to cancel them because it's like thunderstorming outside. I can see the trees aggressively moving back and forth outside. But yes. D1, hello. Hope you're doing well. Hello to you as well. Tyron, how are you doing? I don't have a name here, but dash says, hey, how are you doing? IT questions with Nige. Good evening from UK. Hope you are all good. Fantastic. Friday morning for me. Friday morning. Hello. Well, anyway, Dragos says, I got hired as an Azure data engineer. No way. That is amazing. I'm very, very happy for you. How's that going? Did you start already? What were you doing before that? I'd love to hear a little bit more about that as well. Well, it's more like midnight here. All right. Well, good evening, I guess. Oh, hey, Alf. How can I integrate cloud technologies with software test automation? This is probably something like continuous integration, continuous development, deploying pipelines that include testing. You can use something like GitHub Actions or something like Azure DevOps. Anything that allows you to implement CI/CD pipelines, and you can implement tests there, and then run all your infrastructure and cloud stuff through that. So yeah, very doable. It is raining aggressive. Oh, I got this Nike. Check this out. Nike hoodie. So it's Nike. Let's put this there. Nike. And then over here it says Microsoft. Pretty cool, huh? I got some beanies as well. Beanies, and I think they're called beanies, right? The hats that you wear in the winter. Not the forward hat, but like the and I got someone else. I can't remember. Just got a job as a service desk analyst specializing in Azure cloud and security operations. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. You might know I'm a big fan of service desk roles, mainly because of the exposure and how easy it is to get into, not easy, but easier it is to get into the tech space. And oftentimes they'll let you do a wide range of things. In this case, specializing in Azure cloud and security operations. That's awesome. Tell me, how long have you been doing this? How long have you been doing that role? How are you liking it so far? Oh, hey, Wintermute. How are you doing? I know you were on a trip or something like that, so I'd like to know how's that going? Was doing some database work. Do you know if you can do data virtualization through Azure Arc? I'm not 100% sure, actually. No, I personally haven't done anything much with Azure Arc, so I don't have a solid answer. Man, I am dehydrated today. Hey, ZD, how you doing? Earlier today I was remembering the streams that we would do with just playing Tony Hawk. Good times. I'm considering a few job roles in one of the other southern cities here, so I can actually put more of my Azure certifications and personal experience into practice. That's awesome. What kind of experience do you have with Azure? I'd like to know. And what kind of gigs are you sort of looking to land? How can I build real world skills with AWS? There's plenty of projects that you can do. There's plenty of things you can implement, depending on which kind of roles you're trying to go for. Are you looking for infrastructure roles, or infrastructure administration, developer kind of roles, security kind of roles? What kind of roles are you interested in? Got back early on Tuesday morning, still jet lagged and tired. Yeah, I can imagine. So you have most likely, if you're jet lagged, you most likely had a time zone change. But glad you're back and recovering. Felt like it was just yesterday. Yeah. I look back at those times and I really had no idea what I was doing. Not that I have a good idea of what I'm doing. Well, I have a better idea now. I wouldn't say totally 100% no, but things have changed for sure. Oh, I got a beanie that says Azure on the front, but I don't want to wear it right now because my hair looks really really nice like this, and I don't want to like get it messed up with which is why I'm not wearing a hat. But yeah, how's everyone doing? What did y'all work on this week? What do you guys plan for next week? I asked Rishabh to join because I wanted to talk a little bit about containers, but I think he might be busy. So Eastern to Pacific and back. Oof, that's a tough one. Depending on how long were you there for a couple of days? Work-life balance in cloud. So work-life balance for me now is an interesting topic because what I do for work and what I do as a hobby, they blend so well, right? So like this, what I'm doing right now, this is just a hobby, right? I felt like I wanted to stream. Come on. Luckily, I have my own channel. I can stream, right? And then for work, I do more technical stuff, more technical streams, but it's very similar. Still cloud computing based. So it's hard when your like job and your hobby are sort of similar. When I was a cloud engineer, I felt like the balance was because I was extremely technical during the day, like implementing all the solutions that I have to do as a cloud engineer and things like that. And then towards the afternoon, I was like, once I got home, I was like, all right, I'm going to do stuff that has nothing to do with that. But then I ended up making YouTube videos, right? So it's hard. I think what helps me is that in the morning I have a list of things that I absolutely have to do. Like I have to wake up, I got to do my bed. I got my morning routine. I got to go to the gym. I have to journal, things like that. And as long as I get that done, I would consider it a productive morning, and then I can dive into work and stuff like that. But it's like it's hard, honestly. I don't have like a solid answer there. Looking for cloud infrastructure project roles where I would deploy varying amount of Azure resources. I've done a fair amount of Azure migrations from on-premise and networking and VMs in the cloud. Very cool. Infrastructure like architecture as well. Sweet. I want to do a video on migrating infrastructure. I just don't have like on-prem infrastructure to work with. So, but that would be, I don't know if you're into IT questions with Nige. I don't know if you are into making videos, but that'd be a cool thing to see. When we're going to start looking into merch, but it would be a banger. Yeah, I don't know, at some point. I did play around last year with building like some shirts and some hats with like that had like cloud computing concepts. Like I had one that's like auto scaling or resilient infrastructure, but it had like a cool font, cool logo kind of thing. And the brand was called Cloud Threads. It was great. It was cool. But it's just like so many things going on. It's kind of hard to keep up with. I wanted to be able to delegate it to someone. I just haven't found someone that I trust enough. What's your 5-year future plan career-wise? That's a fantastic question. I want to stay in the role that I'm in. Obviously just move up and become more experienced. But I love advocacy. I think it's a good balance between the engineering side, but also like the community building and that kind of side too. So I like where it's at. It's not like 100% technical or 100% creative. It's like a good balance for me. Mainly, I just want to continue doing what I'm doing and providing content that allows people to sort of learn more and be more exposed to what a career and what I guess an entry to tech would look like. Because like this past year that I've been doing it, it's been like, getting everyone's messages about like how it's helped them and things like that. I honestly think that's as corny and cliche as it sounds. I honestly think that's my mission, like to get as many people as I can into tech as possible. So I think I'm in the role to do that properly. So for the next 5 years, I just want to keep doing it, becoming better. At some point, I'd like to be like a manager or a lead or something like that and have my own like, small team or things like that, mainly just because I'd like to see how I perform that way. But, I don't think that's anytime soon. Then in my own time, I could look into DevOps, cloud engineer for infrastructure as code, CI/CD, etc. Very cool. We finally deployed our big Kafka project at work, so that's exciting. Someone yesterday asked me about Kafka. I've actually never used it. I was doing a demo on Azure Q Storage. I've actually never used it. I know it's quite popular though. but tell me more about the project. I'd love to know. I'd love to learn. I hear you on the work-life balance issues. Yeah, it's a tough one to work around, I guess. Um, with moving here to New York, it's been especially challenging because, I'm getting used to new city and getting used to living alone and things like that. So it's a lot to like take in. But I don't know. I'm glad I have like this outlet and like work to sort of keep me grounded. Uh, what's is next in your career? Yeah, I want to stay in advocacy. I'd love to like make a long-term career at Microsoft. Um, I want personally, like my mindset right now is I want to be here for like until I retire. Definitely think it's a company that fits my like values and it's challenging and things like that. So that's what's up next for me, I guess. I need to get into the habit of posting regularly, so it definitely would be on my list. Yeah. I'd love to see more infrastructure focused, infrastructure architecture focused, like project videos. Um, yeah. So if you do make them, share them with me so I can share them with other people who watch them, or maybe at some point we can collab. Imagine something that was super bougie and called it clout infrastructure engineer. I hate the word clout, by the way. The whole concept of like clout and influencer and things like that. Even though people call me an influencer and I don't like it, I guess I am to some extent. But yeah, the clout word is just, I don't know. But I get it. I get where you're coming from. Advice for getting a cloud job without any professional experience related to cloud. I actually have a video on this, that how I landed my job going from so like a help desk background, sysadmin background to cloud engineer. I think it's my most viewed video. So if you just go to my channel and you go sort from like top views, then you should be able to find it there. Essentially, what you want to do is oftentimes jobs that can give you exposure to cloud don't have cloud in the role, right? So I think a lot of time we fixate on, oh, if it's not cloud engineer, if it's not cloud administrator, cloud architect, whatever, cloud something in the role, you're not even looking at it. But this kind of lets you, like you miss out on a bunch of things, right? The thing about tech is like oftentimes the job title doesn't match the description. So make sure you're paying attention to the description. For example, I landed, so from help desk, I got AWS certified, and then I landed my role as a sysadmin. And the only reason I paid attention to that sysadmin role was because in the description, it was like, I think it was like ability to work on cloud/DevOps related projects and things like that. And then in the interview, I talked to like, hey, I'm AWS certified. I'd be interested at some point being able to do these kinds of things. And they said, yeah, I feel like we can work towards that kind of thing. So the opportunity possibilities there. 1, 2, lean into the existing resources that you have. If you have some sort of exposure to a cloud team at some current role that you have, become friends with them. Ask if you can like watch what they're doing, maybe like an hour a week or something like that. Like negotiate with your boss, get exposure. Because it's easier to like move to get a promotion at somewhere that you already have like a proven like track record of being like a good employee and capable employee, things like that. What's another thing that I mentioned? Oh, obviously make sure you're tailoring your resume and things like that. In terms of having no professional experience, there's tons of things that you can do on your own time and on your own cloud. Like you better have like an AWS or an Azure GCP account on your own, and you should be deploying things there. Document your things, put them on GitHub, make sure you can speak about them in and out, that kind of stuff. Yeah. You inspired me to start a career in cloud. I'm following your self-taught guide to become a cloud practitioner. Amazing. I need to get a soundboard so I can have like applause sounds. But that's awesome, Vicky. I'm very proud of you. I'm very happy to hear that. Thank you for sharing this for me. If at any point you have any questions, I'm always open. Like my Twitter DMs are open. I try to get to them at least once a week, but we'll see. Really need to focus on projects. Maybe finding projects for local businesses would help tremendously. Hiring algos also won't resume if you have no pro experience. Yeah. Oftentimes like local businesses, like maybe like a local community college or like a local, I don't know, a health place or something like that, right? They'll have some sort of IT department that you can sort of work your way into, and they're like a little bit more lenient as to who they hire. And don't fixate on like everyone wants to work for like these big tech companies. So remember that the competition is fierce there, but you can sort of like work your way up. Like you start at small companies, mid-sized companies, there's a better chance because it's less competition, right? Think about that too. Cloudfluencer. I like that word, not gonna lie. Open source contributions could be a great way to get non-professional experience. Very true. I have the self-taught guide. So I'm gonna put it up here. I'd encourage you all to, so learn2cloud.guide. It's open source. I personally will check every single PR that's open to you. Any way you want to contribute, any projects you want to list, resources you want to list, more concepts or things that you want to delve into. If you want to add more things like it's got now like 2,000 stars on GitHub, which is significant. So it's going to be, if you're looking for something to contribute to, I am more than happy to help you sort of make your first open source contribution. Now that you mentioned this, I think I should probably put together a little guide or a little video around like how you can make your first open source contribution with this kind of thing. And yeah, not only are you getting hands-on that way, but you're also hands-on with Git and GitHub and, actually creating technical content, which is very important. And it's oftentimes a skill set that we forget. Like you can know all these skills, these technical skills, you can have a long bullet point list, you get what I'm trying to say, on your resume. But if you do not know how to communicate your skill set to a non-technical audience, you are only putting yourself in a disadvantage. Remember that too, right? Where can I find good projects to start practicing using Azure services and tools apart from MS Learn? Good projects to start practicing. So do the Azure Resume Challenge first. If you go to the learn2cloud.guide and then go to phase 3, it's listed in there. There are a couple of cloud projects listed in there that you can do. So check out those two. Job titles are mostly marketing. I feel, for an example, I'm an IT engineer, but I end up covering networking, servers, cloud scripting software. This is so spot on right here. This is. So when I was a cloud engineer, when I was a sysadmin, I was doing cloud work, DevOps work, IT work. What else was I doing? And even some like scripting and things like that. When I became a cloud engineer, I was doing like full stack development. I was doing infrastructure work. I was doing administration work. I was doing architecture work, all that kind of stuff, on-call kind of things, all things like that, right? So do not fixate on the role itself, especially if you're like just getting started. Don't worry too much about that. It's worried about more of the responsibilities, because at the end of the day, those responsibilities are what's going to translate into what you can describe and what you can talk about in your interviews. Yeah, I would 100% agree with that. Is it advisable to switch to Java technology? I've been working on .NET technologies from past 5 years. It depends on what you want to do. Also .NET and Java are somewhat similar. It depends on what you're trying to do. If you have a solid Java like understanding and you know how to program, picking up any language is going to be doable for you. So you don't necessarily have to switch unless it's like a requirement for a job or something like that. Any tips on transitioning into Azure AI from a non-technical background, currently prepping for a AI 900 right now? So I'm not so familiar with the AI space, but if you're starting with the AI 900, that is a fantastic certification to get going with. Definitely take advantage of like the services, like cognitive services that are on Azure. You can get like, building bots and building like chat bots and building like models and things like that. And like the APIs that you can get advantage of. Like, since you're at the AI 900 level, just be familiar with it. Like if you can go and follow some tutorials or like documentation, Microsoft Learn, there's plenty of the content out there. Like get hands-on. Like when you're studying for these fundamental certifications, I think it's easy for people to dismiss them as just like, it's just theory. There's no hands-on to it, but you get your most bang for your buck if you're actually like, if today you're studying, I don't know, how the cognitive service portal, like how it works to deploy a model, something like that, instead of just like reading about it, actually implementing it and following it through and, searching up exercises to do. That's how you're going to get hands-on, right? And then just make sure you're saving it somewhere. Make sure maybe you write a blog post or something about it, or maybe just put it on your GitHub or things like that, right? I want to become a cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, do I need to learn Python? You need to learn how to script. Python is a very popular option for that. Scripting is just putting together like a bunch of commands that automate some sort of task. It's often Bash, PowerShell, or Python that are probably like the three most popular. I would say you can start with Bash. Bash is sort of like a universal language because on every single virtual machine out there, almost every single virtual machine out there, Bash is going to be on there by default. You don't have to install anything additional, right? So if you think about these scenarios where you have like, I don't know, you're working with somewhere that you can't install something, you'll know Bash. I would say Bash and then Python, and like move into Python. For DevOps engineer, you don't necessarily need to completely know how to program. And then for cloud engineer, depending on like which discipline you're doing, if you move more into the development space, you will need to know how to program full applications. But again, it depends on where you go into like to what extent you need to learn. Oh, that would be fantastic. Yeah. Now that I'm waiting for Rishabh to like get on, but maybe he won't. When I'll talk to Rishabh about that because I know October's coming around and there's the Hacktober thing that happens every year. And I would love to see more community contributions. Again, I built the guide for the community, so we got to get more people involved in that. Currently working help desk at a smaller company, lots of opportunities to learn and implement new technologies. That's amazing. Help desk exposed me to PowerShell, to troubleshooting, to documentation. I have never documented anything as like to the T than I did at my help desk role. Because when you work help desk, you're expected to not only document how you were approached with the issue, what the issue was, what you tried, what worked, what didn't work, how you resolved it, and then anything after. All that has to be in the ticket, right? And any sort of things that you figured out, you have to create like new documentation on top of it and things like that. And you're doing this at a rate of like, depending on how big your company is, like 10s, 20s, 30s, hundreds of tickets a day. I don't think hundreds is possible unless you're an absolute machine. It's I love help desk. Like looking back at it, it was just, I'm so glad that that's where I started with my IT career. Also check 100 Days of Cloud website. Yes. This might be of interest to y'all. I'm doing a cloud administration series next month for the Microsoft Reactor. I think it's going to be every Thursdays, and I think it's going to be around this time, a little bit earlier maybe. It'll be streamed on my channel as well, but we're going to be covering managing virtual machines with the CLI, which is very, very important. If you're trying to work with cloud, you cannot be clicking around on the portal. That's just not going to cut it. You have to know how to use the commands, a command line interface. We're going to be covering how to build VNets and how to monitor infrastructure. And then we're also going to be covering some Azure AD stuff. My goal is for that series to be a solid 4 set of shows where we're sort of building a foundation to cloud administration skills, which I personally think is a great way to get into like if you want to get into infrastructure after that, if you want to get to architecture after that, if you want to get into development after that, all that kind of stuff, you need these solid 4 things. So that's going to be next month. If you're subscribed to my channel, you'll probably get like a notification, things like that, but just keep that in mind. I think you need to know data science stuff for AI. So Tina Huang, I don't know Tina Huang. I don't want to mispronounce that. But yeah, data science is important there. Team Bash. Yeah, I became such a fan of Bash early the beginning of this year. It's like pipelines, piping things and using grep and all that kind of stuff. It's amazing, like the things that you can accomplish with the command line, right? Which one's more important, certifications versus non-professional hands-on experience? Both. Yeah, I don't see why you would limit yourself to not doing both. But with certifications, don't get carried away. Like do 1 or 2 and just get a lot of hands-on experience. Do you plan on visiting any new museums? Maybe. I don't have any on top of mind that I want to go to immediately, but maybe. Let's see. Experience overall, but you can use certifications help to validate that you have an understanding of the information. Yeah, so I think in 2021, certifications are more to validate for yourself and for like a learning path for you versus carrying actually weight on your resume. I think, go back like a couple years ago, having an AWS certification, a Microsoft certification, Azure certification, GCP certification was definitely like, oh yeah, this is like a new thing, right? But like now everyone gets them. And with the things like question dumps and things like that, it's if you just memorize questions, it's also easy to pass them. So use it more as a tool for you to learn. Hey, GPS, you're a workaholic. Hope you're okay. I mean, I think a lot of it is, just having a lot more free time. Yeah, I'll probably like slow down towards later in the like in the year as like the holidays approach and things like that. I'll probably slow down. Oh, I got a text I got to read. Do you want to see the sites in New? Yeah. So you know what I've been doing? I've been going so I got an electric scooter, right? A little one of those kick scooters, but it has a motor in it. And every couple of days or so, I just pick a new place to go kind of explore, a new town to kind of explore. It's like aggressively raining outside. I'm just looking at it through my window. And yeah, I kind of just go, I ride there and I get more familiar with the town and things like that. It's great. Like I went to the High Line a couple of days ago. And yeah, just like a bunch of random places, a bunch of random fields. I've been playing soccer a lot more too, which is, therapeutic. Yeah. Please, can you tell me what your my favorite programming language is? C# and .NET. I think I did some C++ and some Java in the 2 semesters I was in college. I like Java. Everyone hates on it for some reason, but everyone hates on C# and Java and like .NET and Java for whatever reason, but I'm actually a fan of them. But yeah, now it's just, C# and .NET. Did you bring your Les Paul, or that's what it looked like, to a new place? I did not. I want to. I just have to go back to my parents' place and pick it up. I will, yeah, because I definitely miss having just a guitar to just like, pluck at randomly between meetings and things like that. The text is Rishabh saying he got called into work. No, it's like a, well, it's not, but anyway, you gotta try Los Tacos. You know what? If anyone's from the city, give me recommendations of places that I should go try food out. I had a Korean corn dog for the first time a couple of weeks ago, and I was like, this is so good. This is amazing. I want to try new stuff like this all the time. All right, Los Tacos. There's one in Chelsea Market or Times Square. I live 8 blocks from Times Square, so that's super accessible. Do you find software development concepts like algorithms and data structures used often for cloud jobs? If you're a cloud developer, yes. Maybe not. It depends on what you're building, right? Algorithms, definitely. Algorithms and data structures, yeah. Even because I'm thinking like implementing things like serverless solutions and stuff like that, which requires like software development. And yes, you would have to, because it's code, right? If you're in cloud development, yes. If you're not, probably not. Do you reckon cloud industry is still in its early stages and there will be more new jobs happening in the future? Yeah, I think so. I wouldn't say early stages, but I do think like there's still a lot of potential. There's still a lot of growth. But I also think that we're never going to get away from on-prem, or I think the hybrid model is also becoming more and more popular, right? So there's a lot of potential in this space. And, hybrid is cloud as well. You need cloud and on-prem to have hybrid. So keep that in mind. Wait, Korean corn dog. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I am such a fan. It was so good. And I'm probably going to go sometime this weekend as well. So yeah, it's so good. But it's one of those things that if you eat, you're definitely going to feel tired after. So make sure you don't have like some sort of like, I don't know, you're going to work out or you have like some important meeting that you need to, it's now lightning outside. But anyway, if you have some sort of important meeting that you need to be fully paying attention to. I've been watching a ton of Joshua Wiseman. on YouTube and find myself cooking more than ever. His stuff is so funny and informative if you enjoy cooking shows. I'll check that out. I've been wanting to cook more. Yeah, I've definitely been cooking more. The other day I made stuffed chicken, like chicken thighs with like mozzarella, basil, feta cheese. It came out pretty banging for myself. Yeah, so yeah, but if everyone has recipes, send me like restaurant attractions and recipes. I'd love to try more things out. Maybe I should start like a vlog and I'll be like, GPS tries this, right? On another channel though. How much does a compiler cost nowadays? A compiler? I don't understand what. Like you mean like a server? I'm going to Target tomorrow to buy a KitchenAid to bake my own bread because there was sort of like this thing during the pandemic where everyone wanted to start making their own bread. I feel like you're getting into that now. I like how Michael Scott is right behind me. Is anybody a fan of The Office? He's like, but yeah. Yeah, Korean corn dogs. So freaking good. Who knew? Who knew? Oh, hey, Cheese. Sorry, I meant to message you so we can have a chat. I fell asleep that day, and then, you know, life happens. But yeah. Cloud engineer verifies restaurant infrastructure, and by infrastructure, I mean their food. Cloud engineer tries top 10 restaurants in New York City. Cloud engineer tries top 5 Korean corn dogs in New York City. Something like that, right? What are your favorite and worst aspects of your cloud so far? Okay, so when I was a cloud engineer, I hated the ambiguity of the actual title. Because when you think of cloud engineer, it's like so generic. It's like, I'm going to be working on something with cloud computing. That's it. But there's like so much to do. So I really hated that. More specific to, I wouldn't say this is necessarily tied to cloud itself, but well, maybe it is. Like with it being sort of like a newer role, more than like software engineer and network engineer and things like that. It's like people don't necessarily know, or like teams or managers don't necessarily know how to organize their resources. They're like cloud people. I don't want to call people resources, but you know, they're cloud people in a way where like you get the most out of them, which is why I think I found myself like being on full stack projects, being on like operations projects and things like that. I wasn't a fan of that either. I don't like the whole like certification game that is associated with cloud computing that you don't necessarily see with something like software development. I don't like that. I feel like those are like the worst ones. My favorite is the variety of like, once you get hands-on with like your solid, like your foundations on cloud, like, you know, your Linux administration, you know, your networking, you know, your scripting, you know, some DevOps practices. With those 4 things, you can go on and be, you know, anything in cloud. Like if you want to be developer, security, all things like that, there's so much opportunity there, right? And everybody needs, you know, no matter what field you're in, if you're in AI, if you're in Web3 and Ethereum development, which is like the new thing now, or you anything like that, everyone needs cloud infrastructure, right? So you have like so many options out there, and I love that. Like now I'm in advocacy, but if I ever wanted to return to engineering, I know there would be a company out there who would require someone to work to some extent with cloud infrastructure, right? So that's what I'm a fan of. There's just so much potential there. Watch both versions of The Office. Prefer U.S. Office, although they were written by the same guy. Yeah, I've never watched the other version. I'm a big fan of the U.S. I watch it spiritually. Like I like on days where I'm like, oh, I can't. I'm like I like need to like get away. I just watch The Office, like you know, or rewatch my favorite episodes and things like that. My favorite Office episode is the one where Kevin spills a chili. I have a shirt that has like Kevin. It's like a video game format, like a versus, like Kevin and then the chili, and it's Kevin versus a chili, and it's like it has like some sort of like powers and things like that. I'll show it at some point. Are you in New York? Yeah, I live in Manhattan now. It's a small world on Tech Twitch. It is a small world on Tech Twitch. Do y'all know each other? That's pretty cool. That's actually pretty cool. What is your work title right now? I'm a cloud advocate. Not sure if you all have it in NYC, but Korean fried chicken. I've had Korean fried chicken before. I haven't had it here in New York, but I've had it before. So good. I think I prefer Korean corn dogs over it, but a big fan of Korean fried chicken as well. How's the gym going? Yeah, I've been going every single day. Well, almost every single day. So I'll do like 3 days, break 1, 3 days, kind of thing like that. Just because I'm trying to establish a routine while like moving to a new city and then having some sort of structure. It's been great. It's nice, like get out, and also it gives me like an excuse to socialize and stuff and get away from this computer. I've been working out consistently, which is great. Amplify or Firebase for small projects. Either. I really don't have a preference towards and any one of those. Maybe like Amplify because you get experience for like, I know a lot of larger companies and projects use Amplify. So if you want to get your own project but also get experience for maybe future work, I would say Amplify. I really want cloud gaming to just blow up. While I love building custom PCs, I would love to just spool any game up on a console or HTPC. Speaking about custom PCs, so yesterday, I know I have the custom PC, the next one, NZXT. Yesterday for some reason the Bluetooth kept like disconnecting, like the actual Intel Bluetooth that's like on the motherboard. It kept doing that Windows noise, like that da 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 da. So annoying. It wouldn't stop every 10 seconds. And I spent like 2 hours trying to figure this out. Like roll back the driver, didn't work. Uninstall it, reinstall it, download the proper driver, things like that. Didn't work. I'm like, what is going on? And then I think I saw on Reddit, it was like, just turn it off and then but also shut down the power supply, disconnect it, and then connect it again, and you're good. And I was like, no way this is gonna work. I do it and it worked. I was extremely relieved, but I was also like frustrated, like, why is this a thing? So but has anyone watched Stargate SG? No, I have not. If anyone has show recommendations, I'm looking to like watch new stuff. Has anyone seen that? Is it a movie? Clickbait? Everyone on Twitter has been talking about this movie, Clickbait. Let me know if you've seen it. Send me the link into the show at once. I will send it to you. I'll have to find it. Do you have cloud evangelist on your current resume? I think it's so funny when I see someone being an evangelist on subjects. I hate that word, and I'm so glad that like DevRel and advocacy is moving away from that word. But no, I have cloud advocate. That's what I am, cloud advocate. Is this your workstation? No, this is my home. This is my home setup. Yes, I have a different computer for work, and typically I work out of most days when I'm not streaming for like work. I'll be at the Times Square office, which is really cool, the Microsoft Times Square office. And that way I'm away from I'm away from my bed, I'm away from my gaming PC, and I'm just like all right, I'm in the zone kind of thing. We met up on the Jupiter Broadcasting Telegram, and then we both got into Linux jobs this past year. We got to meet in person this summer. Very cool. I'm a big fan of the podcasts on the Jupiter network. Oh my God, I've never heard of Korean corn dogs. I just looked it up and look freaking delicious. Dude, they are so good. They are so freaking good. You definitely got to give them a try. Yeah, anyway, we got to stop talking about corn dogs. Talking about funny things to put on your resume, I always put sense of humor under my skill section. Seems to have a good response. I can see like if that reaches like the right audience, if like it's like a cool hiring manager, they would like appreciate something like that. And you give me barbecue sauce, so we're now friends for life. Oh, that's awesome. See, it's so cool. Like people know each other in the chat. It's really cool. Ryzen has USB dropout issues. Try updating BIOS. Yeah, I'll take a look at that, because if it happens again, it's definitely something that's like going on, and it's not just like a one-time thing. So I'll have to look into it. Definitely recommend watching Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis. Dark on Netflix is good, and Breaking Bad, of course. I've never seen any of these. I know it was like a couple years ago that Breaking Bad was like super popular. Yeah, I just never got into. I don't know. I always come back to The Office for some reason. Let's see. Apple has For All Mankind show. Highly recommend. Has anyone watched Ted Lasso? Because now that you mentioned Apple TV, everyone tells me that Ted Lasso is a great show, but I don't know. I don't have an Apple TV subscription, so I want to know if it's worth it actually. This is our hustle station. Yeah, this is where I make, if you watch my YouTube videos, this is sort of where I record my YouTube videos. This is where I stream. This is where I game. This is where I watch Netflix. Yeah, this is like where everything gets done. When I work, I just plug in. I have a dock, and just have the monitor switch the work stuff. GPS, how do you put your face profile on the Microsoft Edge taskbar? It's you sign into your account. You got to sign into your account, and it'll show you if your account has a face as a profile picture, it'll show up there. If you haven't seen The Good Place, so much love for that show. All right, I'll make sure to look at that one too. You can DM me on Twitter about it if you want. I'm always game to nerd about PC stuff. Yeah. Well, I'll if it happens again, I'll definitely hit you up because I was about to play 2K, so I recently got 2K, the best like NBA 2K. I know everyone trashes on the game, but I like it because I can play like just a quick match in between meetings and things like that. And I was about to play it, and then the Bluetooth, like the controller, like the PS5 controller wouldn't connect to it. I'm like, terrible timing. Need to watch it. Haven't watched Ted Lasso yet, but want to. Yeah, I get like really good recommendations on the game. So I mean, not the game, the movie. The movie. Darn it, the show. Sorry, I'm so distracted. The show. But yeah, apparently it has like a good premise and things like that. So, do you work from home? Do most cloud engineers work from home nowadays, or do they have to be on-site due to job or security reasons? I mean, I think that's like the answer in the question itself. Like some people do need to be on site. Some people do need do work from home. Some people do remote, hybrid kind of thing. I'm doing more like 3 days home, 2 days in the office kind of thing. But when I was a cloud engineer, when I was a cloud engineer, I was doing the same too. And I would just work over a VPN. But not all jobs are like that. I wouldn't say that's like specific to cloud roles. I do believe most cloud roles can be done remote, but then again, that's really up to like management, things like that, right? Have you had a chance to see any of the new Surface products yet? No, I haven't. Let's look at them right now. Let me pull up a tab, and then we'll take a look at them. I know there was a lot of hype around it. What do people think about the new Surface products? Surface. I have a Surface Book 3. I think that's what I have for work. I love this thing. This thing is awesome. The size, the keyboard is great. You can disconnect it, and it's like a tablet. I don't really use it in that mode ever, but I like the thing. You know what the best part of this is? Like the charger is like what Apple used to be. Like, can I show this? Hold on. No, I don't think I can without like messing. All right, you see this here? See that? Look at that. Such a beautiful feature. You know, Apple used to have the MagSafe chargers. I love that about this thing. It's a good size. It's pretty thin. I'm gonna look at these new Surfaces. Let me pull up a screen, and then we can look at it together. Oh no, it's asking me to sign in? No. Where are your plants? Oh, my plants are at my parents' house. I want to bring them, but I just haven't gone back yet. So at some point I will. Where is The Verge? All right, let me see if I can share. We'll go like this, and we'll go full screen here, and then we'll go share, and then we'll go share screen, and then we'll go share screen 1. There we go. Allow. All right, y'all. Let's take a look at these new Surfaces. Surface Laptop Studio is Microsoft's new powerful flagship laptop. Oh, wow. That looks really nice. It looks like an iPad Pro with a MacBook. It's a 14.4 inch. What's the specs? I need the specs. Ooh. Oh, I tried it. What's it called? xCloud, I think, which is like the Xbox gaming, but you can do it over the cloud, so you don't need like a console. It was pretty solid. I need to get one of these controllers for my PC. What are the specs though? I want to watch this, but not play the. Yo, our freaking, they definitely stepped up their game with the product. The what do you call like the material around the product, like the marketing, the videos and stuff like that. This is so good. Look at that. Sweet. I like this. I like this this thing. It's great. It's great. That's cool. Would I get one? No. Will I see if work will get one for me? Yes. But I think I just got a new Surface, so probably not in time anytime soon for an upgrade. I missed. Did I miss some of these questions? Where are your plans? Dave is a funny sitcom to watch on Hulu. I watched both seasons of Dave. Really good. MagSafe charger. Yeah, it has like that magnetic thing going for it. It's great. I love it. Is there any COVID restrictions in New York City? Yeah, there are a bunch of places that won't let you go in unless you show proof of vaccination and you're wearing a mask. So I have to carry like a photo of my proof of vaccination everywhere I go. Or you can have like a vaccine. There's like an app that you can have your thing loaded into there too. That's been the charger since Gen 1 Surface. Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. It's awesome that it's done this way. Do you still have the HP laptop? No, I actually gave the HP laptop to a friend of mine who he was like trying to graduate, so he had to like write his thesis. I think that's how it's pronounced. But he didn't have a machine to work on, so I gifted him mine. What games do you play? I play lately. I've been playing Far Cry 4, FIFA, NBA 2K. I finished Days Gone. Sleeping Dogs was fantastic recently. Red Dead Redemption 2. I like a lot of open world games. That's like kind of my thing because I feel like I can just get lost in the story. They don't go into details about the hardware. It looks like it's Rocket Lake chips and 100% on board with endorsing people to it. Oh, okay. I have to watch more videos about it. Intel 5 i5 or i7 with up to 32 gigs of RAM and NVIDIA graphic options, I believe. What kind of card is it? I don't remember seeing it. Still playing World War Z? Yeah, I'm still playing it. If anyone wants to join me, add me on Discord and we can play. I play, I wouldn't say often, a couple times a week. I guess that is often. I'd pay max 2.5K for a computer. Well, if I were to switch back to a laptop that I personally purchased, I would go with something like the new HP Omen, which you can find for like 1,200 USD. It's such a good computer. If you can deal with the fan noise, which I usually can when it comes to a laptop, it's so good. Solid graphics card, solid options in memory and CPU, and it's a little heavier, but it's a beast of a machine. I have 3 AWS Associate and CCAD certs. I have no professional experience and degree. What job should I be looking for? You should be looking for jobs that you want to. I'm not going to tell you which ones to look for. Yeah. What are you interested in? Internet's toughest guy. If you weren't in a Silicon workforce shortage, that would build you an epic system. Yeah, if you had 2,500, you could build a really good a good custom PC. Antonio Alfie, that we often do content together, he just got a 3080 Ti card. It's insane. That graphics card is insane. Ryzen 5, Ryzen 7 options would have been nice. There's no Ryzen options? There's no AMD options? It's all Intel? Meh. I think with you know, laptops, it's like you have the MacBook, the M1, which are great. Though I had the M1 Pro that I gifted to my, I guess now ex partner, because at the point where I was like streaming programming, and like recording things like that. When I was doing things often, like at that level at the same time, it would start to hiccup. And then, you know, there's no option to upgrade RAM and things like that. It was a 16 gig M1. If you're just doing like one of those things, it's great, but it started to hiccup after a couple of them. How often do you play games? I play games every single day. Like I literally have my controller and then my gaming mouse, everything just here available all the time. Like I play it every single day, and I'll either it's like a late night session. So like after we're done with the stream, I'm gonna probably play something. Or I find like it's a great way to like, you know, meet with friends too. Like I play a lot with my brother as well. Just like some bonding time. But yeah, every single day I play games every day. What are you working on tomorrow? Tomorrow I'm working on the next session that we have, and preparing the sessions for the cloud admin series that we have for October. My HP Spectre is a brick now. I'm having issues with Pop OS. Pop OS, haven't used it in a while, but it's one of my favorite Linux distributions. So I ended up formatting my hard drive, and now I can't get an OS on it since it doesn't have any drivers. Oof. Man. What issues were you having with Pop? I feel like it's such a reliable distro. I don't mind laptop, but the build quality is always bad. It gets wonky and flimsy if you use it daily. I wish the building game laptop with MacBook quality. I wish they built a gaming laptop with MacBook quality. I could see that. I didn't have any. I had the HP Omen for almost a year, and I abused that thing, and it was solid machine. Would you ever consider carrying around a Surface Duo as your primary device? I actually don't know what a Surface Duo is. Let me just Google that real quick. Surface Duo. Not my thing. Probably not. I'd rather have like a larger phone instead of something like folds like that. Yeah, but it looks cool. And I feel like the phones are like now trending towards like these foldable things, which is an interesting trend. Like we're going back to what we saw. Remember the flip phones? You just like, when you were upset with someone, you just like slap it together. The HP Spectre I have is really good. Aluminum unibody, I can drop it if I want. I used to have an HP Spectre for my cloud engineering gig, and I dropped it on the corner. And no, I dropped it like on its corner, and then the I think it was like an HDMI port at the corner, and then that was just like completely done. But the thing worked. Oh no, I had to replace the fan. No, I remember. Yeah, I had to replace the fan, and then I switched it from Windows to Linux, and then it ran flawlessly. I switched it to Ubuntu, and it ran flawlessly. I'm playing Art of Rally in Game Pass. Art of Rally. All right, I'll look into that. Rodney should join our Discord. We'll certainly try to help him out. There you go. Join the Discord. Any hobbies besides games? Besides games and making YouTube videos, a hobby as of recently has been like just going out and exploring the city on the scooter, the scoot. I call it scoot. I've really been enjoying it. It's quite therapeutic. The cool thing about that is, you know, I can't be on my phone. I can't be listening to music, anything like that. So I'm like so in the moment, so like hyper aware of traffic and things like that. And it just like takes me away from everything, which is nice. I think the gym would qualify as a hobby as well, you know, trying to get stronger and things like that. I used to like make like music, like beats and stuff like that. I haven't done that lately. But yeah, that used to be a big thing. I like to read a lot. I know that sounds cliche and corny, and it's like, no, that's not really a hobby, but I like to. I'm currently reading Why We Sleep, which is fascinating, which is why I've been trying to do, when I do work from home, trying to incorporate naps into my schedule because of that book. Yeah, I like to journal. Does that count as a hobby as well? Our System 76 Discord. Oh yeah, Cheese works at System 76, which is like one of the coolest places to work, I think so. Yeah. The Duo looks super cool, but it's obnoxiously overpriced. I think all these flip phones are like Yeah, they're flip phones because they flip, right? Are pretty overpriced. Motorola Razr. Oh my goodness, I had the silver Razr. I remember that, and someone stole it. And I was so upset. Am I into anime? No, I'm not into anime. City exploring is the best. Yeah, it's been nice. I'm pretty where I live. I'm pretty accessible to the majority of the city. So like I can hop on some subway and find my way somewhere, or I could just like there's a lot of like bike lanes around too that I can use the scooter on. Yeah, it's great. I quite enjoying getting to know the neighborhood. Hey, Cheese, can you link the Discord? This is Rodney from. Okay. You should look up Teenage Engineering. I'm familiar with the OP1. I have a couple of friends who make beats with the OP1. I don't have any of them on here. I have, but they're quite talented. It's really cool. It looks like a little calculator. It's a cool place to work, and Denver is a fantastic city with such good food. I need to come out to Denver. Jeez, if I come out, will you like give me a tour? That'd be so cool. If I get a tour of like the place. If you don't mind me asking, what's your dream like? Are you happy? I'm very happy. But I think what I've learned a lot about like being happy is that it's not something that's you're not always going to be happy. It's more of like a general thing. Like in life, are you happy in general versus like are you happy every single day? And you like kind of learning to deal with up and downs of life and that kind of stuff, and finding like healthy outlets and things like that. Yeah, but life is like pretty good for me at the moment, and generally I'd say yeah, I'm very happy. I don't really have any dreams, right? So don't really have anything there. Currently don't have Pop downloaded. Like I said, it's just a $1,600 paperweight. Man, you gotta get on that. Someone's gotta help you with that because you can't have just a like $1,600 laptop just sitting there doing nothing. How much experience do you think you need to do computer software? What like professionally? There are people who do boot camps that are like 6 months and then land entry level roles for software development. So. It's doable. Like you don't need years and years. I went through a few audiobooks a few years ago. Getting Things Done. That's a good one. The Art of Stress-Free Productivity. Pretty useful system. Yeah, the GTD. Quite interesting. I always think like my issue with productivity systems is like I become so boggled down on the details where it's like, oh, I didn't do it right. So then I get frustrated over the system itself and then I don't end up using it. So all I do now is like I use Microsoft To Do and then I use my calendar. So anything during the day that happens, like I have to get to it, I just put it in To Do and then I have the little badge option. So like it'll have the number in red. Like I currently have, let me see. I currently have 3 things to do. Can you see that? Rats. I didn't block it. I want to see the autofocus there. Oh, well, anyway, you see the little badge there. So it tells me like, and I have it at the bottom of my home screen. It's like, oh, I have 3 things on there. And then I'll just take that list and then I'll spread it throughout the day. Like in between meetings or stuff like that, I'll block out like, I don't know, 2 hours to get the thing done, that kind of stuff. That's really all I do. And then I have a journal that I use every single day for like more of like big picture kind of things. Like reflections and stuff like that. Yeah, but I try to keep it simple when it comes to productivity systems. 100% give you a personal toll. May need to cover a few things which we're not ready to show. Ooh, yeah, I'm excited. I want to get the what's it called? Launch the keyboard. I really want to, but man, like kind of like paying. I think it's like over like $200. Like man. At the moment, I have a Keychron K3 65% keyboard. I was trying to work with a 60% keyboard, which means you don't have the arrows, so you don't have this. I couldn't get used to it. I could not get used to it, so I switched it for a 65%. I really like this one. It's not too loud. It looks nice and clean. No RGB, nothing like that. And I think it costs like $60, $70. Yeah, I don't want to get too boggled down with mechanical keyboards. Let's see. I've been going through some free code camps on courses on SQL and Bash. Oh, nice. SQL is one of those things. So I had to like administrate some SQL servers, but more on the infrastructure thing, on the infrastructure side instead of the actual like the data. But sometimes we would have to rerun like stored procedures and things like that, and you would need to use some SQL. So that's like all I know to the extent. I think Rishabh might have more understanding of SQL. I think I got everyone. We're gonna wrap up soon, y'all, because it's been an hour. I'm trying to play some games. Using a launch right now, the best keyboard I've owned, the USB 3.2 hub is in the launch, is the beast. I can copy about winter. What? Yeah, I'm gonna look into it. We'll see. I don't know. I wanted to get a Thelio too, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna sign off, y'all. This was so much fun. I missed just like randomly talking about things, but this has been great, and we'll chat soon. All right.